Mm. Yeah. Sila ka rin eh. Mm. Hello, good morning. Morning, everyone. Good morning, Phil Foods. May I ask po kung kumpleto na yung participants? Audible po ba? Ma'am Le? Rin? Okay. So can we start? Are we good to start na? Okay. Okay. Good morning. Assalamualaikum. Welcome participants. Marhaban ayuhal musharikun. I am Aida, your facilitator for the day, for this whole day training. And our seminar workshop today will cover HD001, the Halal Basic Principles and Fundamentals. And in the afternoon, we have the HD004, the Halal Compliance Audit. This is our program flow. We'll start with an invocation. Then I'll present to you the house rules. The program flow will be, the first is the lecture 1. Again, the Halal Basic Principles and Fundamentals that will cover the half day. Then we have lunch and prayer break for the noon. Then in the afternoon, the Halal Compliance Audit. And we have the most important, the question and answer session. Let me introduce you first. The Philippine Ulama Congress Organization is a non-profit religious organization of Muslim educators by passion and profession. One of our department is the Halal department, and which offer the following services. The first is the Halal audit and certification. And this one, the Halal training and consultancy. We also do Halal obligatory, the ritual cleansing supervision. This covers ito yung may mga machineries and equipment or plants na dati na siyang nagamit sa non-halal, then ang company ay magpapahalal. So ito yung isa sa kailangan nilang i-comply. We also do offer this service. Then fourth is Arabic, English, Filipino translation. Meron din tayong mga companies na gusto nila yung packaging nila ay nakatranslate into Arabic para pag nag-export in the Middle East or other Muslim countries, readable na. Kasi most of the Muslim foreigners cannot understand English. So there are some, no? So kailangan yon. Then let me present to you our house rules for the day. First is please fill the attendance form. It's shown in the chat box. We need this for our certificate. Then second is participants are not allowed to talk unless allowed by facilitators. So kindly mute your microphone. We have the question and answer session naman. And we also have the chat box if you have concerns. Then third is we will observe a 15 minutes break for the morning snacks. Then webcam always on in Zoom during sessions because we have requirements on attendance, no? Then let's respect one another while the lecture is ongoing. Then participants may write their question in the chat box. Please don't hesitate, no? Then please answer the feedback form after the question and answer open forum in the morning and also in the afternoon. This is a great help to us to improve more our services. Then 7 is let us observe punctuality. A certificate will be given to participants who completed at least 80% of the training hour. Then that are the rules. First is before I introduce our lecturer, let's start with invocation or a prayer to be led by Ustad Iksan Zaman. Ustad. Okay, Ustad is not audible. Let's have Ustad Abdul Razak for the invocation.
Let us be silent for a moment. Let's internalize, connect with the God faith. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ربنا تقبل منا دعاءنا ربنا وفق لنا أيامنا وأعمالنا وأهدافنا يا رب العالمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذابنا وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الله شفاعة من الخير. آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Alhamdulillah. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our first lecturer of the day. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Sharia, Islamic Studies at Mindanao State University, Marawi City. He is a candidate of Master of Arts in Islamic Studies at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. And he is a Sharia counselor who passed the special Sharia bar examination given by the Supreme Court last 2019. And he is one of the Pukoy Halal expert auditor. Let's have Ustad Alexandi Malang for the Halal basic principles and fundamentals.
So, Bismillah. Am I audible po, ma'am? Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
So first, let me share my presentation for today. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So, ang lahat ng papuri at pasasalamat ay sa Allah lamang, ang Panginoon ng sanlibutan. So, good morning to each and everyone. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So, naway nasa mabuti po tayong kalagayan at ang inyong mga pamilya. So, hinihiling ko po sa Panginoon na bigyan niya ako ng taufik upang ma-discuss ng maayos ang topic for this morning. At hinihiling ko din sa Panginoon na marami tayong matutunan at makuhang knowledge patungkol sa halal. So let's start our webinar on basic HD001, Basic Principles and Fundamentals of Halal. Naririnig po ba ako?
Yes, sir. Audible naman.
So every time we encounter something new, so we have apprehensions, reservations, or suspicions para sa bagay na yon. May mga pangamba tayo patungkol sa ganong usapin kasi wala tayong sapat na kaalaman. We have no such knowledge patungkol sa usapin na yon. So gaya ng nasa screen na ating nakikita, what's in the box? So, what's in the box? Kung narinig natin ang halal, na itatanong natin sa kung ano ba ang halal, kung ano ba yan. Maganda ba ang halal or ito ay nakakasama? Baka anong mangyari sa atin pag nag-consume tayo ng halal, etc. Yan yung pumapasok sa isip ng isang tao kung wala siyang sapat na kaalaman patungkol sa usapin na ito. So hopefully, with this series of lecture patungkol sa halal, marami tayong matutunan about this. Inshallah, we will make you appreciate halal. So sabi nga ni may kasabihan si Earl Nightingale, whenever we are afraid, it's because we don't know enough. So if we understood enough, we would never be afraid. Tama nga naman. So ito po ang outline ng ating lecture for today. What is halal? Ano ba ang halal? Why halal? How to be halal? Then halal ecosystem. So the objectives to have an ample understanding and appreciation of halal and the halal consumer behavior. Second, to gain a better understanding of Islam, Sharia, and halal, and in effect, correct the misconceptions about the Islamic religion. Third, see the teachings and values shared by major world religions, Judaism and Christianity with Islam. And finally, to have a deeper appreciation of the Islamic religion as a religion of peace. So these are the references na ginamit natin sa ating lecture for today, sa ating presentation. So important concepts, Islam, revealed scriptures, and prophet. So ang Islam, it is not a new religion. It is the culmination of the continuous monotheistic message that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah. Then revealed scriptures. So we believe that there are revealed scriptures sent to some prophets. For example, kay prophet uh, Isa, kung sa Islam, Isa or the Prophet Jesus. So kung sa Christianity, tinatawag nilang New Testament. So sa Islam naman, ang Quran na na-revealed sa Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then prophets starting with Adam to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May peace and blessings be upon him. So Quran and Sunnah. So lives of Muslim revolves around the teachings of Islam from Quran and Sunnah. So the Quran, it is the final testament or the culmination of all revealed scriptures. Kung sa Judaism, may Old Testament sila. Sa Christianity, may New Testament sila. So sa Islam naman, we believe the Quran is the final testament. So ang Sunnah, it is the actual explanation of the Quran. The deeds, sayings, and tacit approval of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So all Muslims, lahat ng Muslim ay dito nila kinukuha ang they get their knowledge in these primary sources of Sharia or the Islamic law, ang Quran at Sunnah. So Islam, worship, obedience. Islam is the way of life. It is the complete way of life. So everything that a Muslim does, lahat ng ginagawa ng isang Muslim, it is an act of worship. So we don't distinguish between worldly and religious acts. So we do this act of worship as an obedience to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So yan po mga important concepts sa ating discussion for today. So let's proceed. What is halal? Ano nga ba ang halal? So sa Pilipinas, dito sa ating bansa, may batas tayo na patungkol sa halal. So it is Republic Act number 10817, an act instituting the Philippine Halal Export Development and Promotion Program, creating for the purpose the Philippine Halal Export Development and Promotion Board and for other purposes. So kahit dito sa Pilipinas, may batas na tayo patungkol sa halal. So this act shall be known as the Philippine Halal Export Development and Promotion Act of 2016. So halal, it is an Arabic word that generally means allowed, permissible, lawful, under Sharia. Sharia means Islamic law. So yan po ang halal. It's an Arabic word that generally means allowed, permissible, lawful. mga examples of actions, food, services na ay dapat halal. So what is halal? Itong babasahin natin ngayon ay isang example ng sunnah or hadith ng Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on the authority of Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, the messenger of Allah said that Allah the Almighty is good and accepts only that which is good. So ang good dito, ito ang halal. And Allah has commanded the faithful to do that which He commanded the messengers, and the Almighty has said, "O you messengers, eat of the good things and do right." Ang halal dito ay ang good things. Kumain kayo, sinabi ng Allah sa mga messengers. Kumain kayo ng mga halal at gumawa ng mga mabubuti. And Allah, the Almighty, has said, "O you who believe, eat of the good things wherewith we have provided you." Then He mentioned the case of a man having journeyed far, is disheveled and dusty, and who spreads out his hands to the sky, saying, O Lord, while his food is unlawful, his drink is unlawful, hindi halal, his clothing is unlawful, and he is nourished unlawfully. So how can he be answered? So paano sasagutin ng Panginoon ng kanyang panalangin kung ang lahat ng kanyang ginagawa, kinakain ay hindi halal? So this is why halal is so important for us Muslim, for the Muslim consumers. So we see halal as an act of worship. So we have Quranic verse on halal. So Allah, babasahin ko po, Ya ayyuhan nas, kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiba, wala tattabi'u khutuwati syaitan, innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. O mankind, eat from whatever is on earth that is lawful and good, and do not follow the footsteps of Satan. Indeed, he is to you a clear enemy. So ang tinawag ng Allah ay hindi lang mga Muslim, hindi lang mananampalataya, kundi ang lahat ng tao na nilikha niya na kumain ng halalang tayyiba, lawful and wholesome, good. So it was said that all mankind, it is lahat ng tao ang tinawag ng Allah. So pwedeng halal nga, pero hindi naman wholesome. Bigyan natin ng example. So for example, ang manok, ito ay halal. So pero pag ito ay hindi kinatay in Islamic way, it is not wholesome or good. So kailangan it should be clean, hygienic, quality, safe. Yan ang wholesome. So ang concept ng halal ay halalang tayyiba, lawful and good or wholesome. So why halal? So we have many reasons. For example, sa aming organization, di Pupoy, it is our advocacy to spread the knowledge of halal at para ma-appreciate ng mga tao kung ano nga ba ang halal at ano ang benefits na nagmumula sa halal. At saka marami pang iba. So halal is more than a label. It is an assurance of quality, safety, hygiene, and cleanliness. So why halal? Religious obligation. So first reason is religious obligation. Kasi majority of your consumers, if it is halal certified, are Muslims. Then Muslims see your services or products as an religious obligation, not an alternative. Then they will patronize it confidently nang walang pangamba. And hygienic and clean, quality and safety, then market demand, or it generates revenue. Then customer benefits of halal are very clear. Then knowing that if the product and the premises is halal certified, it means they don't have to worry. Ika nga dahil ito ay halal certified, then it is hygienic and clean, then quality and safety. Then they can consume the product with the assurance it does not contain anything that is doubtful or detrimental to health. Then halal is of two aspects, in technical and in business aspect. Kaya it generates revenue kasi in business aspect din ang halal. Kasi ngayon, market demand ang halal. Confidence gives assurance to Muslim consumers. Kasi when we see halal logo or halal certificates to the products, it gives assurance to the Muslim consumers. Then authority certifies that products are halal and a mechanism to monitor halal food. Now, there's an authority who always monitor and check the halalness of the product. For example, may dalawa, then labeling informed choice to all consumers on food purchase. Example nito, sa grocery store, may dalawang peanut butter na pagpipilian. Then so as a Muslim who patronize halal, so he will choose the product which is halal certified. Kahit na mas mahal ang price nito kasi nasisiguro niya na safe siya sa kanyang kakainin. Expand product niche market competitive advantage over other companies. So quality indicate product not only fulfilling halal requirements but also hygienic practices. Then international acceptance, symbol of assurance or identity of the product. Kasi ang mga consumer nowadays they are very cautious of what they eat. So kailangan safe and quality talaga ang pinipili nila. Market opportunities for halal. So ang halal ay hindi lang siya nag-focus sa halal food. So we have here Islamic finance, tourism, fashion, media and recreation, halal cosmetic, halal pharmaceuticals. So yan po ang sakop ng halal ngayon. So, pero nung first, nag-start talaga ang halal, ay halal food. So, ito po ang pinag-uusapan na pera patungkol sa halal industry. 3 trillion US dollar. Napakalaking pera po or market ang pinag-uusapan dito sa halal industry. So ito po yung top 10 na countries sa halal food, Islamic finance, and halal travel. We have here the Malaysia. Then sa modest fashion, halal media and recreation, halal pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, nangunguna dito ang United Arab Emirates. So let's now look at which countries are benefiting from this industry. So gaya ng sabi natin kanina for halal food, Malaysia. Sa Islamic finance, Malaysia din. Halal travel, Malaysia din. Sa modest fashion, UAE. Halal media recreation, UAE. Halal pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, UAE. So you may ask, pwede ninyong matanong, paano maging halal ang media and recreation? So it can be halalized in terms of content and sportswear. So hindi natin nakikita yung Pilipinas dito kasi nga bago lang pumasok yung Pilipinas sa usaping halal. Pero at least nag-start ang Pilipinas at hopefully lalaki ang contribution ng Pilipinas sa patungkol sa halal. Then pwede nating may tanong kasi ang pwede nating may i-argue kaya wala dito ang Pilipinas kasi hindi siya Muslim country. So bakit nandito ang Brazil, Australia, Singapore, Thailand, China, UK, Germany, France? Di ba hindi sila mga Muslim countries? But because they understand the need, they realize the potentials of this market. So they initiate, innovate, and venture on halal. So what I'm just pointing is there's a lot that we could do. In all fairness, we are working inch by inch, but at least we are on it. So the growing global Muslim market. So 32.43% of Asia's population is Muslim. So sa buong Asia ay may 32.43% na Muslim population. So napakarami ng mga Muslim. So worldwide, approximately 30% are Muslim, then at growing at 1.84% per year. So parami ang population ng Muslim at lalaki din ang demand ng halal. So this data ay nakuha nung 2016 pa to na data. So baka ngayong 2022 mas dumami na ang Muslim population. 2.14 billion, napakarami. Sa Asia 1.4 billion. So malaki ang parami ang bilang ng mga Muslim. So ito yung current global halal market, 2.6 trillion US dollars. So they projected by 2030 10 trillion US dollars ang industry ng halal. So palaki talaga ng palaki at parami din ng parami ang mga Muslim. So making it one of the fastest growing consumer segments in the world, ang halal industry. So dumako naman tayo dito sa Pilipinas lang. So according to the Commission of Population, POPCOM, of the Philippines, the estimated total population of the Philippines as of noong January 2017 ay umaabot na ng 133.4 million, and around 10% are Muslim, mainly based in the southwest area of the country. So how much more ngayong 2022? So dumami na ng padami ang mga Muslim dito sa Pilipinas. So domestically, dito lang sa ating bansa, we have a big market in halal. So market growth drivers: increase in Muslim population, increase in demand for halal products even in non-Muslim markets tulad ng sa UK and USA. So increase awareness in the availability, quality, and integrity of halal products, increase in number of certifiers to ensure quality and integrity of halal products in the market. Emergence of new categories for halal certified products and services. Kasi gaya ng nasabi natin kanina, halal industry started in halal meat. So ngayong lumalaki na at dumadami na ang scope ng halal. Gaya ng nakita natin kanina na example, halal pharmaceuticals, halal logistics, halal cosmetics, and tourism. Globalization and integration of markets. Growth in e-commerce, internet platform, marketing. So what is Islam? Islam means submission as well as peace. that issues from our submission to God. Islam, a way of life. Islam is not a new religion. Islam is the continuity of message. There's an Quranic verse, we believe in God and what is revealed to us, in that which was revealed to Abraham and Ishmael, to Isaac and Jacob and the tribes, and in that which their Lord gave Moses and Jesus and the prophets. We make no distinction between one another among them, and to him we have surrendered. So we have here the 5 pillars of Islam. First, the declaration of faith. Itong declaration of faith ito yung tinatawag sa Islam na shahadatain. Yung you are testifying that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah alone, and testifying that the Prophet Muhammad is his slave and messenger. Then second pillars of Islam, the 5 daily prayers. So kaming mga Muslim ay nagdadasal kami ng 5 beses sa isang araw. First sa 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. tinatawag na Fajr. Pangalawa, at 12 p.m. or noon time tinatawag na Zuhur. Pangatlo, the Asar, tinatawag na Asar sa oras na alas 3. Then pang-apat, sa oras ng alas 6 ng gabi, tinatawag na Maghrib. At pang-5, yung sa oras ng alas 7 ng gabi, tinatawag na Aisha. So yan po ang 5 daily prayers na ginagawa namin ng mga Muslim. So we pray 5 daily prayers dahil ito ay obligatory sa isang mananampalatayang Muslim. So third, giving charity. Then fourth, fasting in the month of Ramadan. Whole month ng Ramadan ay ang mga Muslim ay nag-ayuno. Then pilgrimage to Makkah, or ito ay ang pagpunta ng isang Muslim sa Makkah sa Saudi Arabia upang magsagawa ng Hajj kung tawagin. Pero ang pagsasagawa nito ay yung may kaya lang na pumunta doon sa Saudi Arabia. Yan po ang 5 pillars ng Islam. Declaration of faith, 5 daily prayers, giving charity, fasting in the month of Ramadan, pilgrimage to Makkah. Kung nakikita natin sa screen, itong may black na box, ito yung tinatawag na Kaaba. Then dito pumupunta yung mga Muslim upang magsagawa ng Hajj. So we have here the 6 articles of faith. First, belief in Allah, ang paniniwala sa Allah na walang ibang Diyos na nararapat sambahin kundi siya lang mag-isa. Belief in angels. Belief in divine revealed scriptures, ang mga na-revealed na mga aklat. Belief in the prophets. So we Muslims, we believe also in Prophet Jesus alayhi salam, or in Islam we called him Prophet Isa. Belief of the last day. Lastly, belief in the divine predestination. So these are the 6 articles of faith na kailangan ng isang Muslim. So who is Allah? Sino ba ang Allah? So Allah is an Arabic word that means God, or more accurately, the God. So kahit sa Biblia ng mga Arabo, kasi may mga Christian Arabs naman, so ang Allah, ang ginagamit na God na nakasulat sa Biblia ay Allah. So it is an Arabic word that means God, or the God. The Quran refers to Allah as the Lord of the worlds, Rabbul Alameen, the Master of the Day of Judgment. So hopefully, nalaman natin dito kung sino ang Allah. Ito ang Panginoon. Then who is a Muslim? So, sino ba ang Muslim? One who submits to God, anyone can become a Muslim. So ito ang common greetings ng mga Muslim. Assalamu alaikum. Then ang response nito, wa alaikumussalam, wa alaikum assalam. So ang meaning ng assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you, or peace be with you. Then wa alaikumussalam, peace be with you too. So pwede nating i-practice to. Assalamu alaikum. Kung may nag-greet sa'yo, assalamu alaikum. So ang response mo, wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. So mamaya pwede nating i-practice yan. So Muslim is the one who submits himself herself to the will of God. The submission must involve the whole being. Then may biblical verse dito, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Draw near to God and He will draw near to you. Everything in the universe is Muslim. So everything in the universe is submissive to the will of God. Therefore, in the universe, everything is Muslim, whether be animate or inanimate, particles, atoms, rocks, mountains, planets, stars, galaxies, and spirit beings are Muslim. Even those who do not believe in God, they are Muslim as far as their bodily existence is concerned. So, Assalamu alaikum. Ito yung sa greetings ng mga Muslim. Then sa Judaism, Shalom alaikum. So, medyo may pagka similar lang sila. Assalamu alaikum, Shalom alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, alaikum shalom. So, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them and said unto them, peace be unto you. Na nakasaad sa New Testament. And into whatsoever house you enter, first say, peace be to this house. Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. Again, Jesus said, peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, I am sending you. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. So, ang greetings na to ay hindi to binago kasi nagmula pa sa mga propeta ang greetings na to. So ang assalamu alaikum, peace be with you ay ginamit din ng Prophet Jesus. So dumako tayo sa what is Sharia or Islamic law. So, literal meaning nito ay the straight path or path to watering place or hole where animals drink. So, in technical meaning, laws prescribed by Allah upon His servants through the tongue of a messenger. So, ito ang mga batas na nagmula sa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kasi may mga misconceptions tayo pag narinig ng mga hindi Muslim ang Sharia or Islamic law ay putol ulo, putol kamay, yan yung mga misconceptions nila patungkol sa Sharia. Ang Sharia po ay ito ay Islamic law. Basis from the Holy Quran. ثم جعلناك على شريعة من الأمر فاتبعها ولا تتبع أهواء الذين لا يعلمون. So we made for you a law, so follow it, and not the fancies of those who have no knowledge. These are the objectives of Sharia, or the maqasid of Sharia. First, objectives: to protect religion, to protect life, to protect lineage or progeny, to protect intellect, to protect property, and lastly, to protect honor. So all laws in Islam protects these six, and everything that can damage these six things are forbidden in Islam. So pag nag-consume ng pag nag-consume tayo ng haram or unlawful, tulad ng with due all respect, tulad ng wine, alcohol, or shabu, or illegal drugs, it affects the life and intellect of the person. So it is forbidden in Islam. So all halal actions should be done so that the objectives are applied. Ito po yung pinoprotektahan ng Sharia. First, ulitin natin, the religion, life, lineage, intellect, property, and honor. So these are the sources of Sharia. The Noble Quran, the Sunnah, Ijma, Qiyas. So na-discuss natin yung patungkol sa Quran and Sunnah kanina. Then ito yung meaning ng Quran. It is the speech of Allah sent down upon the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through Angel Jibril, in its precise wording and meaning transmitted to us by numerous persons, both verbally and in writing. So yan po ang Quran. The Sunnah, it is the actual explanation and practical demonstration of the Quran. It refers to the sayings, actions, or deeds of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and actions of the companions which he tacitly approved. Then ijma, it means the consensus of the Muslim jurists of any particular period after the death of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning a legal ruling. In its legal sense, it is those principles of law which are accepted unanimously. Then lastly, the qiyas. It is a process of deducing a rule of law based on the Quran, tradition, or ijma in matters which have not been provided by a text. So diniscuss natin ang sources ng Sharia, because if we look the halal standards, the sources of which are these, itong apat na to: the Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and Qiyas. So we have here the Sharia principles on halal and haram. So first principle, the basic principle is that all things created by God are permitted, with few exceptions that are specifically prohibited. So meaning nito, ang lahat ay halal. Lahat ng lahat ng bagay na nilikha ng Allah ay halal. Ngunit may few exceptions na haram or prohibited. Kung isusulat natin ang lahat ng halal na pagkain or anuman, ay hindi natin kayang may sulat sa sobrang rami nito. Ngunit kung isusulat natin ang mga prohibited or mga haram, ay kayang maisulat, kasi as ika nga dito, few lang ang prohibited. Yan ang general rule. Next, to make lawful. And unlawful is the right of God alone. So meaning nito, only God can say na ito ay halal at ito ay haram or unlawful. Siya lang may karapatan kung ano ang halal at haram. Prohibiting what is permitted and permitting what is prohibited is a major sin. Kasi nga, it is the right of Allah, the Almighty. So if you determine what is haram by yourself, na yung bagay na yon pala ay halal. Napakalaking kasalanan na matatama ng isang tao. So bawal yun sa Islam. Na ang halal ay ginawa mong prohibited. Next, the prohibition of things is due to their impurity and harmfulness. So the prohibition of things is due to their impurity and harmfulness. So there might be obvious reasons and there might be obscure reasons. But basically, because of its harmfulness, kaya siya naging prohibited, pinagbawal. For example, ang pagsusugal or gambling. Ang gambling po ay bawal sa Islam. Sabihin na natin na may benefit dito pero maliit lang. Yes, pwede siyang manalo ng jackpot pero mas madalas at malaki ang talo mo sa gambling. Then other example, ang pag-inom ng alcohol with all due respect, ang pag-inom ng alak ay mas malaki ang naidudulot na masama nito sa katawan kaysa sa kabutihan or benefits nito. 'Di ba sabi nila alcohol will make you forget your problems. Tama ba 'yon? Nakakalimutan ba natin? Ba talaga ang mga problema kung uminom ang isang tao ng alcohol or mga alak? So or sumasakit lang ang ulo ninyo pag paggising mo. At maraming krimen na na-report na ang sanhi ay nakainom sila ng alak or lasing na nakapatay or nakadisgrasya. So the prohibition of things is due to their impurity and harmfulness. May masamang naidudulot ito. Kaya siya pinagbawal. What is halal is sufficient, while non-halal is superfluous. So God prohibited things that are unnecessary or dispensable while providing better alternatives. Halal is sufficient. Sapat na po ang halal para sa atin. Ang kilala na bawal sa Islam o sa mga Muslim ay ang baboy at alcohol. So meron namang karne ng baka, meron namang manok at kambing na halal at ito ay sapat na sa mga Muslim. So sa halip na then patungkol naman sa alcohol, sa halip na alak ang inumin, may juice naman, may tubig naman. So halal is sufficient while non-halal or haram is superfluous. So whatever conducive to haram is itself haram. Whatever conducive to haram is itself haram. Anything that leads to haram or haram there is unlawful. Anything that leads to unlawful is itself unlawful. If there is something that will lead you in bad, it is prohibited. It is prohibited in Islam. So kailangan na lumayo doon kasi bawal po ito sa Islam. Then falsely representing the haram as halal is prohibited. So bawal na bawal po sa Islam na sabihin halal ang isang bagay na yun pala ay haram or unlawful. For example sa isang company, may nagtanong kung halal certified ba ang kanilang mga food products. Pero ang katotohanan ay hindi sila halal certified at may haram pala doon. Kaya kailangan ng halal certification para maging patunay na halal nga. Kasi may Consumers Protection Act tayo dito sa Pilipinas na magiging liable ang tao pag napatunayan na nagsisinungaling sila para mapatronize lang ang kanilang product. So mag-ingat po tayo at kailangan halal certified ang ating mga products. So, kasi falsely representing the haram as halal is prohibited. Then good intentions do not make the unlawful acceptable. The end justifies the means is not accepted in Islam. If we have good intention or goals, kailangan lahat ng dadaanan mo ay halal para makuha mo ang goal mo na acceptable in Islam. For example, gusto mo maging mayaman, it is a good intention. Pero nagbenta ka ng mga illegal na droga, shabu, para lang maging mayaman ka. Ito po ay unlawful. Haram po ito sa Islam. So good intentions do not make the unlawful acceptable. Then doubtful things are to be avoided. Doubtful things are to be avoided. If you are not sure if this thing, kung itong bagay na ito or itong pagkain na ito ay halal, nagda-doubt ka patungkol dito, nagkaroon ka ng doubt, then it should be avoided. Huwag mo nang bilhin para safe ka sa bagay na yon. Then hanap ka na lang ng may halal logo kasi nga as a Muslim, it is a religious obligation na ipatronize at kainin ang halal. Unlawful things are prohibited to everyone alike. So lahat ng pinagbabawal ay bawal din sa lahat ng tao. Then may social experiment na ginawa. For example, yung may bata na naglalakad sa public place, then may dala-dala siyang sigarilyo. So pinagsabihan siya ng mga tao na nakakita sa kanya na, "Hoy bata, bawal yan kasi nakakasira yan sa'yo." So ang tanong doon, kung nakakasira sa bata, bakit sa'yo hindi nakakasira? So yan ang example ng unlawful things are prohibited to everyone alike. So pag sinabihan mo yung bata na bawal kang uminom ng alak kasi nakakasira sa'yo, so it means nakakasira din to sa nakakasira din ito sa malaking tao. Mapabata yan, mapamatanda, mapalalaki, mapababae, it is prohibited to everyone alike, ang unlawful things. Then necessity dictates exceptions. Necessity dictates exceptions. In case of emergency, your life is at risk at ang makakatulong lang sa'yo ang pag-consume sa haram na yun. Sa haram na yun, pinapayagan ito ng Islam sa ganong senaryo. Magbigay tayo ng example na stranded ka sa isang lugar, sa isang island at wala kang mahanap na pagkain at ang available lang sa oras na yon ay baboy. So diyan na pwede kumain ang Muslim ng ang tao ng baboy. Pero tandaan natin na bawal magpakabusog na kasi pwede nang kainin. Then pinarami ang pagkain doon. So bawal po 'yun sa Islam. At least man lang maagapan ang gutom para hindi mamatay. Kahit konti, okay na 'yon. Then other example, kumakain ka, then bigla kang nabilaukan. Then ang nasa front mo or sa harap mo ay alak lang or sabihin natin sunmig light lang ang nakita mo, walang tubig. Tanong, bakit alak ang nasa harap mo? Baka nasa club or sa bar ka. So example lang ganun. So pwede sa'yo inumin ang alcohol para maagapan ang pagkapilaok mo. So necessity dictates exceptions. Basic principle. So separation of state and religion. Halal is considered as a religious matter. Hence, the Supreme Court of the Philippines, in its decision, considers halal certification should be done by a non-government religious organization and no government agency can do halal certification. Halal is a way of life for Muslims. It is a lifestyle. Halal lifestyle is a popular alternative lifestyle even for non-Muslims. So dito sa Pilipinas, we have separation of state and religion. So ang pwede lang mag-conduct ng magbigay ng halal certification ay mga non-government religious organization tulad ng Philippine Ulama Congress, tulad ng UPOY at ibang mga halal certifier. The following are considered halal food. First, all unprocessed plant materials such as fruits, vegetables, seaweeds. So yan po ay mga halal. All unprocessed plant materials. Then second, all aquatic marine animals such as fish, squid, shrimp, etc. Number 3, all halal certifiable animals that has undergone Islamic slaughter proceedings such as bovine animals, grass-eating animals, for example, cows, goats, buffalo, sheep. Ito ay mga halal. Poultry animals, chicken, turkeys, ducks, geese, etc. So we have here haram, shubha or mashbuh, then najis or najasa. So haram, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng haram? It is the opposite of halal. Kung ang halal ay lawful, ang haram naman ay unlawful or prohibited. Shubha or mashbuh means doubtful or suspected. Ito ang mashbuh, doubtful or suspected. Najis or najasa, an Arabic term which means filth or unclean. Kung mashbuh, you are not sure if halal ba or haram, maybe animal-based or plant-based. So, yan po ang mashbuh. So, kailangan sa ating product ay walang haram or mashbuh or najis na ingredients para maging halal ito. So, may papakita akong video clip. So, let me share.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Suzanne Audi, and I'm a food technologist with the Islamic Food and Nutrition Council of America, or IFANCA for short. I'm here today to talk to you about halal and mashbu food. Have you heard of the words halal, mashbu, or haram? Do you also know what they exactly mean? You might know that halal is an Arabic word, which means permitted or allowed. For Muslims, halal food is what they can eat. Do you also know that the opposite of halal is called haram? Haram basically means not allowed or not permitted. Okay, so now what does mashbu mean? Mashbu means something that is doubtful or questionable because you don't know where it originated from. It means that we need more information about the food product's ingredients to make sure they're halal. Pork and alcohol are the two main ingredients that are haram, so we definitely do not use them in making halal foods. Unfortunately though, deciding whether a product is halal or haram can get confusing when we look at a list of ingredients on a food package. Even if the list doesn't have pork or alcohol, what can you tell when you read items such as enzymes, emulsifiers, flavorings, colors, processing aids, caking agents, or gelatin? Some of these are not even listed on the ingredients panel. Did you know that companies sometimes don't have to list all these ingredients? Some really common questions we food technologists get asked are, how can my canned beans not be halal? Does toothpaste really need to be certified? And also, come on now, are you saying my bread is not halal? I know. It's hard to check. But just because there's no pork or alcohol in an ingredient list does not automatically mean the product is halal. So how do we know which foods are mashbu, questionable? And how can you tell if they are halal or haram? The thing about figuring mashbu ingredients is to think about where they come from. What's their source? Is it plant-based or is it animal-based? If it's animal-based, is it pork or is it chicken or beef? If it's something other than pork, was the animal slaughtered in an Islamic manner? Finally, there are many ingredients used to improve appearance, texture, and shelf life of a final product. For example, salad dressings need to be creamy, so food companies use emulsifiers, which could either be from plants or could be from animals. Cakes need to be light and airy, so food manufacturers use additives like monoglycerides or diglycerides. Again, this additive could either be plant or animal-based. You can't know for sure unless you investigate the source. These are all serious issues for halal consumers. The easiest solution is to look for a reliable halal symbol. We at the Islamic Food and Nutrition Council
So, hopefully may natutunan tayo dun sa video clip na aking pinakita sa inyo patungkol sa halal, haram, mashbu, at najis. So, these are three types of najis. First, mugallada or severe filth. Ang meaning po ng najis are filth or unclean. So, mugallada or severe filth are dogs and pigs, including any liquid and objects discharged from their orifices, descendants, and derivatives. So ito po ay najis. Mukhaffafa, light filth, which is considered as light najis. So the only najis in this category is urine from a baby boy at the age of 2 years and below who has not consumed any other food except his mother's milk. And last types of najis, the mutawassita or medium filth, is which does not fall under severe or light najis, such as vomit, pus, blood, alcoholic drinks, carrion, liquid and objects discharged from the orifices, etc. Ito po ang three types ng najis. So, kailangan walang najis na makikita or mahalo sa ingredients sa isang food product. Halal and haram are serious matters in Islam. For example, for Muslim consumers, para sa amin, we take halal and haram very seriously. So, bakit nga ba? So, consuming non-halal, consuming haram. First, it will lead to the invalidation of good deeds. So, magiging invalid yung mga mabubuting gawain ng isang Muslim pag nakakonsume siya ng haram or non-halal. Then number 2, 40 days of worship will not be accepted. Pag nakakonsume ng alak ang isang Muslim, so 40 days of worship will not be accepted. So, di ba sabi natin kanina, ang practicing Muslim ay nagsasagawa ng 5 daily prayers. So, paano pag nakakonsume siya ng haram? So, it will invalid the good deeds na ginawa niya at hindi matatanggap ang kanyang pagsamba ng 40 days. Then, lastly, supplication won't be answered. So, if kaya namin tinitingnan ang halal ng very seriously patungkol sa halal kasi ito yung ibang common na reasons. Even for the non-practicing Muslim, hindi siya nag-pray ng 5 times daily prayer, then pati sila din, they take it seriously. Hindi talaga sila kakain ng baboy kasi alam nila na haram ang baboy. So, food certified halal. Ang food certified halal is free of and not made of or containing any part or substance taken or extracted from animal which are forbidden, haram. The second, not containing any substances which is declared as filth, najis. Ito ang food certified, halal certified na pagkain. Walang halong haram, walang halong najis or filth. Pangatlo, not prepared or processed, produced or manufactured using utensils, equipment, and or machinery which are not free from filthy substances as directed by Islamic laws. And last, during preparation, processing, or storage, it should not come into contact or be in close proximity with any food which do not fulfill the requirements as stipulated in paragraph A, B, or C, or any substance declared as being filth according to Islamic law. Yan po ang halal certified na food. Then dumako naman tayo sa haram or unlawful. So food of animal origin. Ito yung mga haram na pagkain ng animal origin. First, pigs and boars, baboy. Dogs, snakes, and monkeys. May kumakain ba ng monkey? Then, carnivorous animals with claws and fangs such as lions, tigers, bears, crocodiles, and other similar animals. Then, birds of prey with claws such as eagles, vultures, and other similar birds. Ito ay mga haram. Then pests such as rats, centipedes, scorpions, and other similar animals. So, may nakitang video sa Facebook ata yun na may isang community na kumakain sila ng mga daga. So, ito po ay haram, unlawful. Then, animals forbidden to be killed in Islam. Ants, bees, frogs, and woodpecker birds. Ito ang mga haram na at marami pang iba. Then dumako tayo dito sa pig and its derivatives. So kaya po bawal sa Muslim dahil kaya po maingat ang mga halal certifiers patungkol sa usaping halal kasi sa parte ng baboy wala talagang masasayang. For example, sa skin, dito nang gagaling yung gelatin na ginagamit sa marshmallow, soft candy, yogurt, ice cream, capsules, jelly. So, grabe yung ingat ng mga halal certifiers patungkol sa paghalal at pagsa-certified nila ng isang food product or any other product. Kasi nga walang masasayang sa parte ng baboy, sa skin, innards, blood, pati sa buto, pati sa hair ng baboy, at saka sa meat, tsaka yung fat niya. For example, sa hair, so dito na pwedeng panggalingan ito ng ingredients sa paggawa ng toothbrush at saka brush. Sa sabon naman, sa fat, sa fat nito. So, as you can see, sobrang ingat ng mga halal certifiers patungkol sa mga ingredients. Kasi kahit sa collagen, pwede pang galingan ng ng baboy. Sa blood, ginagamit, pwede siyang gamitin sa sausage at medicine. Kaya merong halal pharmaceuticals. So dito natin malalaman why is pork prohibited. With all due respect, lahat ba tayo dito kumakain, sa mga participants, lahat ba kayo kumakain ng pork? Okay. So sa Islam, then why is pork prohibited? Then first, we have this religious aspect in biblical point of view and in Quranic point of view. Then second, the scientific point of view. So may nilagay tayo dito na biblical point of view sa Leviticus chapter 11 verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he should not decad. He is unclean to you. Then sa Deuteronomy chapter 14 verse 8, and the swine, though he divide the hoof, yet should not decad, it is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. So kahit sa Biblia po ay may nakasad ng pagbabawal sa pagkain ng baboy. So sa Quranic point of view naman, sa chapter 16 verse 115, Allah has forbidden you only what dies of itself, carrion, and blood, and the flesh of swine. Pinagbawal ang flesh of swine, and that over which any other name than that of Allah has been invoked. But whoever is driven into it, not desiring nor exceeding the limit, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Ito ang basis sa nasabi natin kanina na yung necessity. Then sa scientific point of view, sa selection of food, para the nature of a pig, disease caused by pigs and by eating pork. So it has spiritual significance and scientific basis as to why pork is absolutely forbidden in Islam, except on extreme cases like when there is no more food that you can eat for your survival, then pork may be allowed. However, based on the number of repetitions that pork was mentioned as haram and lawful, no amount of interpretation can ever change the message of the Holy Quran. On the scientific point of view, pork contains microorganisms like roundworm, pinworm, and hookworm, among others. One of the most dangerous of these worms is Taenia solium, which in a layman's terminology is called tapeworm. So may tapeworm po sa baboy based on experiment. It harbors in the intestine and is very long. Its ova, eggs, and enter the bloodstream and can reach almost all the organs of the body. So if it enters the brain, it can cause memory loss. So if it enters the heart, it can cause heart attack, and if it enters the eye, it can cause blindness. If it enters the liver, it can cause liver damage. It can damage almost of all the organs of the body. So some of us will argue that if you cook the flesh of swine, then these microorganisms die. But in a research project undertaken in the United States, it was found that out of 24 people suffering from tapeworm, or Taenia ticoracis, 22 had cooked the pork very well. So this indicates that the ovas present in the pork do not die under normal cooking temperature. So pork has very little muscle building material and contains excess of fat. Then this fat gets deposited in the vessels and can cause hypertension and heart attack. So sources nito ay uh, research foundation in Mumbai, India. So in terms of cultural views, pig is the filthiest animal on earth. It lives and thrives on muck, feces, and dirt. It is the best scavenger that God has produced. In place where there are no toilets, people excrete in the open air. Very often excreta are cleared by pigs. Then subconsciously, tayong mga Pilipino ay we see pig as a bad image. For example, ang pagsabi ng binaboy mo ako or ang baboy mo ay hindi to kaaya-aya sa atin. 'Di ba? Tama po ba? Pag may nagsabi sa ang baboy mo or bakit mo binaboy, 'di ba hindi to maganda sa ating pandinig. So we see pig as a bad image subconsciously. So pwede bang kung sabihin natin binaka mo or minanok mo ko, parang wala namang masama na kahulugan para sa atin. So yan po ang mga basis patungkol sa bakit ang baboy ay prohibited in Islam. So animals which are considered repulsive, generally like lice, flies, maggots, and other similar animals, ito ay haram. For example, mules and domestic donkeys, all poisonous and hazardous aquatic animals, blood, than any other animals not slaughtered according to Islamic law. Then every country have different halal standards. For example, sa Malaysia, haram sa kanila ang crabs pero sa ibang bansa hindi. Then pangalawa, food of plant origin. Intoxicating and hazardous poisonous plants except where the toxin or hazard can be eliminated during processing. Then drink alcohol drinks, all forms of intoxicating and hazardous poisonous drinks. Yan ay haram. And food additives, all food additives derived from above 1, 2, 3, yung nasabi natin kanina. Doubtful things are to be avoided. These shubhat or mashbuh are those whose status are unclear, whether it is halal or haram, or in suspect, in doubt, or questionable. If the origin of a certain food item is in doubt, or there is uncertainty about its permission or prohibition under Islamic laws. Istihala or transformation, a process that the original substance of a particular product goes through, and the end result is that the product or the ingredients completely transformed from the original product into another product of different nature and attribute. It can happen naturally or by human intervention. For example, kaya nang nasa screen, yung mga wine, pwede siyang maging vinegar. Then, itong dalawang to ay magkaiba na sila ng uh, nature at attribute. Istihlak, assimilation or extreme dilution, blending or mixing of a small amount of a prohibited or defiled substance with a dominant clean and permissible one, resulting in the obliteration of the prohibited or defiled substance altogether. Kung ito ay nahaluan, for example, ang isang malaking container na malinis na tubig, nahaluan ito or nahulugan siya ng small amount of prohibited substance like alcohol, then hindi ito magiging haram kasi di niya naapektuhan ang malaking portion ng tubig na yon. So, moderator, baka time na para sa break, coffee break.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For the meantime, we will have a 15-minute break. It's 9:07 and let's resume at 9:25. Yes, hello. Are we settled na? Andiyan na po ba lahat? Can we resume?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope everyone hindi inaantok, no? Medyo information overload at saka mga new terms. New terms na additional knowledge which is very important, no, in your field. Before we proceed, let's have an icebreaker. Icebreaker number 1, no? Medyo pampagising lang to. First is, you can write it in your chat box, no? Or you can answer directly. First is, give me an English word that has all the English vowels, A, E, I, O, U in it, no? Example is authentication. Anyone po? Okay, Ma'am Glory, acidus. Okay, Sir Tyrone, Rice. Baka meron pa po gustong sumagot.
Precaution. Ay, sorry.
Okay, it's okay, Ma'am Glory. Anxious, okay. Ma'am Lee. Precaution.
Augmentation.
Okay.
Augmentation.
Yes po.
Communicable.
Yes, sir.
Communicable.
Let's see po. Yes po. Communicable. Ang gagaling naman. Consequential. Yes. Everyone is participating tenaciously. Yes, aeronautics, automotive. Okay, thank you very much for your answer, no? Thank you for participating. Let's see the other answers, no? So, okay. Merong authentication. All answers are correct naman. Okay. So, let's resume with the lecture. Sir Alexan, you may proceed po.
So let's resume our discussion. So natapos na din tong istihlak. So let's proceed. Wait lang. Ayun. How halal? So we have main categories of halal: food and non-food products, then establishments and services. So halal products include both food and non-food items. For food, halal food includes products such as meat and poultry, confectionery, dairy products, canned and frozen food, bakery products, organic food, herbal products, and beverages, etc. Then for the halal non-food include products such as cosmetics, perfumes, pharmaceuticals, leather products, toiletries, beauty products, nutraceuticals, and animal and poultry feeds. Halal products gaya ng nabanggit natin kanina, halal food includes products such as meat and poultry. Then sa halal non-food includes cosmetics, toiletries, perfumes, beauty products, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, leather products, animal and poultry feeds. Then sa services naman, halal services are also important components of the global halal market, including Islamic banking, securities and bonds, Islamic travel and tourism, halal processing, packaging, the complete supply chain, halal food services, catering, hotels and restaurants, education and training, then halal logistics. This is important to ensure that a halal product remains halal from its origin to the consumers from the farm to the fork. How halal? Halal as a quality assurance system. As a quality assurance system by itself, similar to the functions of the various other food quality systems such as HACCP, GHP, GMP, and ISO. The halal system highlights the following: the acceptability of what constitutes the term halal according to the Holy Quran and Hadith or the Sunnah. The monitoring of critical control points in manufacture and handling of food to ensure that no contamination takes place. The identification of potential risks that may occur along the food chain and the use of science and hard evidence to establish the purity of both the ingredients used and the finished product. Yan po ang halal as a quality assurance system. So we can see here from farm to table, ang halal food production. So we have from farm, raw material, animal or plant ba. Then kung animal naman, yung for example sa handling nito, na slaughter ba to. Then sa processing, ingredient and additive, handling, packaging, storage. Food value chains, how to maintain confidence in halal. As we can see here, farm, slaughterhouse, dapat ito ay certified by Islamic entities or and certification bodies. Then sa packaging, storage, to transport, hanggang sa selling, kailangan certified and monitored by certification bodies. Then it should be accredited by the accreditation agencies such as government, government or endorsed by government. Example of product when applied for halal certification. Kung i-apply para sa halal certification. For example, ang product ay fried chicken. Infrastructure may be the same kitchen as for the non-halal menu. Then plant, sanitation, and personal hygiene, logistics, reefer vans involve transport of raw materials. Then sa storage, cold storage for raw meat materials, possibility of a third party cold storage facilities. Composition chicken, breading, marinades. Ito yung mga ingredients. For example, sa breading, wet flour, seasoning, spices, flavorings, premix. Kailangan halal certified ang gagamitin dito. Kahit sa cooking oil, dapat halal certified din ito. Sa utensils naman, possibly used with haram materials. So, kailangan pag ang gagamitin na utensils para sa chicken or sa fried chicken ay hindi siya nagamitan o nahaluan ng haram. Sa flour, so enzyme, bleaching agents, treatment agents, conditioner, enrichment, vitamins. So kailangan halal certified din ito. Tinitingnan din yan ng mga halal certifier. Sa vitamins, kailangan halal certified din. Kasi, for example, sa gelatin, ang major sources ng gelatin ay animal skin. Pwede sa fish skin, cow skin, or pig skin, animal bones. Tinitingnan lahat yan ng mga halal certifier. So dumako tayo sa overview of halal slaughtering. Slaughtering, dhabah or adhaka, act of severing the trachea, halcum, esophagus, and both the carotid arteries and jugular veins to hasten the bleeding and death of the animal. Tinitingnan din dito ang animal welfare. Dapat hindi nasasaktan ang hindi nakakadaan ng masakit na proseso ang pagkatay sa isang hayop. Kasi for example sa manok, may ibang mga slaughtering sa manok ay pinapadaan ng masyadong brutal ang patay sa kanila, pag-slaughter sa kanila. So sa halal, may standard sa halal animal welfare patungkol sa slaughtering. Animals to be slaughtered. Animal that is halal. For example, cows, chicken, fish, shall be alive or deemed to be alive at the time of slaughter. Then shall be healthy and have been approved by the competent authority. Yan yung mga animals to be slaughtered. Dapat animal that is halal, cows, chicken, goat, shall be alive or deemed to be alive at the time of slaughter kasi bawal mag-slaughter ng patay na animal. Kasi haram po ito. Shall be healthy and have been approved by the competent authority kasi bawal po mag-slaughter ng may sakit na hayop. Then sa slaughterer naman, yung nagkakatay should be a Muslim, mentally sound and fully understands the fundamental rules and conditions related to the slaughter of animals in Islam. So sa Islamic way ng uh, pag-slaughter, kailangan ang slaughterer ay should be a Muslim. Slaughtering allows for draining most of the blood out, then causes no stress to the animal kasi nga yung animal welfare, does not cause death before the actual slaughter. Found with no fault in any scientific study, proved to be humane, causing no pain or suffering of cruelty, even to a few individual animals. Causes no damaging or harmful effects to the quality of the meat, found to be sure way of death. So may papakita kong video clip patungkol sa halal slaughtering.
فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير تحلق في الثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير.
Point comes to my mind before I close. Extremely important point. What is halal? I'm sure we need to know. People say, wow, these people chant their magical slogans on the meat, so when we eat it, we want to be Muslims. That's not true. I've heard that in Africa. They say these people chant their witchcraft on all our animals, so why should we eat halal? That is the most foolish statement I've ever heard. All the creatures have been given life by the Almighty. Who is the giver of life? The Almighty. What gives me the right to take the life of a cow away? I don't have the right. So the Almighty says, well, under certain conditions, you may be granted permission to take that life away in a specific way. What is that? If you really would like to eat, consumption, certain for in the
There's just a signal issue, no? Sir Alex is fixing it.
Sorry for the inconvenience. We are having technical problem. Please be patient.
فعاش القلب فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير تحلق في ثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير.
Point comes to my mind before I close. Extremely important point. What is halal? I'm sure we need to know. People say, wow, these people chant their magical slogans on the meat, so when we eat it, we want to be Muslims. That's not true. I've heard that in Africa. They say these people chant their witchcraft on all our animals, so why should we eat halal? That is the most foolish statement I've ever heard. All the creatures have been given life by the Almighty. Who is the giver of life? The Almighty. What gives me the right to take the life of a cow away? I don't have the right. So the Almighty says, well, under certain conditions, you may be granted permission to take that life away in a specific way. What is that? If you really would like to eat, consumption, certain animals we've made for consumption. So I am not allowed to destroy the creatures of the Almighty for no purpose. I cannot even destroy the ecosystem without purpose. If I want to cut trees down, I need to ask myself, why am I doing it? If there's no purpose for it, leave the tree. It has life of a different nature. You're a Muslim. You need to be at peace with everything else. But yes, if there is a need for firewood or there is a need to clear the path, I may say, in the name of the Almighty, the giver of the life, and I begin to cut that tree. So what about insects? Before you spray your mosquito repellent, mosquito? Well, if it's making that little sound, irritating sound, I'm talking of Africa, I don't know about here, but I'm sure you get mosquitoes here. That little sound that irritates you, before you spray your doom, you say in the name of the Almighty, Bismillah, you spray your doom. What happened? They were doomed. But that was for a purpose. You don't just go and destroy. If a reptile is harming you, you may, by the name of the Almighty. You need to take His name because He's the giver of that life. Who are you to take it away? So when it comes to the animals, there are certain animals that are permissible to eat. You cannot just be barbaric. The way you have treated the animal from the point of its birth to the point of its slaughter is extremely important. You need to be completely humane even with animals. You need to treat them, give them that life that they deserve, feed them properly, give them that air and the space. If you were to look at abattoirs that belong to non-Muslims, they are very barbarically run. To be honest with you, I've visited, I've seen, we are so shocked, nauseating. And people say, yeah, you guys are doing something that's very barbaric. Oh, come and see, we'll show you how it's done, come. So now, when we get to the cow, for example, or the sheep that has been fed properly, and it has not been force-fed and kept in a pen like the ducks of the world and the chickens that don't even grow feathers anymore because they are modified, their sole purpose of being given life is to grow until they are killed brutally in order to be served on the table. Not halal. We don't want that. It must be accorded its life. It must be treated as a proper chicken. It must be treated as an animal, a bird, whatever it is. It must be fed properly. And at the same time, you bring it to the pen. You slaughter it in a way that it does not witness the others. And at the same time, such a sharp blade. And why is it that the throat is used? Because of the central nervous system. It's a powerful statement. Sometimes people hack these animals to death. People say, you need to stun these animals. Did you know that there is research that proves that stunning an animal actually creates greater pain than if you don't stun the animal? People say, how? Go and check. You're confusing the animal totally. You're killing it unconscious. What are you talking about? Amazing. If you were to get cut with a blade as you're shaving, you won't even know that you're cut until water goes on it. Why? The razor was very sharp, very sharp. So we are to use a sharp blade, quick slice. When I burn my fingers, what happens? A message goes from the sensory nerves to my brain, central nervous system, that you know what, something has happened here. The brain comes back and the message goes through the bloodstream, central nervous system. It says, you are hurt, lift your hand up. And I do this. It happens within a split second. But if the central nervous system is ruptured from the jugulars, the pain, the message goes up, it gets stuck there because it cannot go up anymore. Blood system, bloodstream out. So what happens? It numbs to a halt. There you are. That is halal. If you were to slice it, the message will not go from the bottom to the top, nor from the top to the bottom, because the jugulars are gone. Windpipe and food pipe. And you have to take the permission of the giver of that life when you are slaughtering it. If not, we don't want to eat that. You have stolen it from the property of God. Allahu Akbar. How can you just cut an animal? Who are you? Who are you to take that life away? You need to say, in the name of the giver of the life here, I'm taking this by your permission. Such a humane way, beautiful. That is termed halal. You are taking the life away. And this is the original system of the Jews and the Christians. It is the original system that was taught by all the messengers. Islam adopts it quite strictly, and so does Judaism. And I'd like to think Judaism adopts it even more strictly. Go and study, you will find it. Same system. So why do people pick on halal? It in fact is the most humane way. In fact, it is the way of being protected from horse meat. Allah protect us, yes. And the supervisors will ensure that things are happening. They will tell you, we guarantee you that this thing was done properly. And guess what? It's not a horse, my brother. Amazing. That is halal. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant my explanation, the understanding in your minds. It is a privilege and honor to eat something that was slaughtered by the name of the giver of the life. To say only for eating purposes, consumption, we took into consideration every rule that you have put, and we have actually fulfilled everything. So we hope we will now get the blessing of the food that we put into our mouths. If not, I'd rather eat the vegetables. May Allah protect us, really.
Uh,
Di ako maka-share po, moderator.
yes, Sir Alex, you may resume na.
Di ko ma-share.
You may na, Sir Alex.
So, hopefully may natutunan tayo patungkol sa halal slaughtering. So, let's proceed sa overview of ritual cleansing. So, halal ritual cleansing means cleansing something from najis, such as dogs, should be cleansed by using one-time water mixed with soil and followed with 6 times cleaning mutlak by water. So mamaya I will show you later the procedure on ritual cleansing. So methods of ritual disappeared or dried up is named hukmiya. To cleanse najis, is required to wash 7 times, one of which shall others first shall not be counted as the second wash. Then the amount of soil used is just enough to make a suspension, and the usage of product containing soil is permitted. So condition of the soil. So first, free from najis ang gagamitin na soil, not musta'mal soil which had been used for dry ablution or except after subject mutlak, not musta'mal and free from najis. So here malalaman natin kung ano yung sinasabi natin. So I will show you a video clip para sa ritual cleansing. So, dinidiscuss natin ang halal ritual cleansing para in case yung isang company na gusto magpa-halal certified, then ang dati may nagamit siya sa mga utensils nila na nahaluan ng mga haram na ingredients. So, kailangan mag-undergo sila ng halal ritual cleansing. So, ito yung next video na ipapakita ko ay restaurant siya na gusto magpa-halal.
Kami ingin menjadi saksi untuk kerana apa mereka nak sertu satu daripada dapur mereka ni. Sebenarnya yang lain sudah disertu. Jadi kali ini saya ingin sangat melihat bagaimana mereka menyertu tempat ni. Sujimi berada di salah sebuah dapur di restoran ni. Mereka sedang menyertu tempat ini. Mereka telah ditugaskan untuk menyertu seluruh dapur ini. Jadi mereka ambillah dia punya utensil, they take all the utensils and they clean every single corner. Ini adalah antara proses untuk menjadikan sebuah dapur itu halal. Sujimi sebenarnya tidak pernah melihat bagaimana mereka menyertu. Jadi hari ini agak bertuah dapat menjadi saksi kepada cara mereka membersihkan dapur ini, dan kita lebih yakinlah bila nampak mereka menyertu. Mereka menggunakan clay mint ini untuk menyertu dan membersihkan. Yalah, kita kan nak dapatkan sijil halal tu fardu bagi kita. Air tanah. Yang ini air tanah.
Ini air tanah untuk air mutlak. Ini air tanah masuk 1 kali dan ini banyak 6 kali. Dan pastikan air ini mengalir ya. 6 kali lepas dulu untuk air yang betul macam buka. Jadi air ini mengalir.
Oh, okey.
Air ini mengalir pada kita nak jadikan dia air mutlak. Jadi kami nak keluarkan Kemudian baru kita masukkan dalam penyemuran. Kita sembuhkan pada
Risau, mereka sangat prihatin bila membersihkan dapur di tempat kita masak, di tempat kita nak makan. Selama 5 hari ini, orang-orang yang membersihkan sangat prihatin sekali. Jadi, Alhamdulillah Sujimi sendiri dah dapat menyaksikan dan Sujimi sendiri yakin, saya harap anda yakin dengan 100% halalnya dapur di tempat.
So, pasensya na, medyo mahina yung connection ko ngayon. Kuhan ko lang sa PLDT. So, sorry. Then, let's proceed. Halal ecosystem for Muslim-friendly Philippines. So here we have halal food establishments, Islamic banking and finance, then Muslim-friendly accommodations or hotels. So Muslim foreigners complains tuwing nagvi-visit sila dito sa Pilipinas, bakit wala silang makitang halal restaurants or then Islamic banking and finance. So on August 22, 2019, may batas po patungkol sa Islamic banking and finance dito sa Pilipinas. Republic Act number 11439, Islamic Banking Act, was signed into law. So the Islamic Banking Act provides for the organization, regulation and powers of Islamic banks to be established in the Philippines. So Muslim-friendly accommodations or the hotels. So ang hotels dito sa Pilipinas, hindi Muslim-friendly. So kaya kailangan natin magtulungan upang mapalago ang halal market dito sa ating bansa. Inshallah, with Allah's will. So, dyan lang po nagtatapos ang aking lecture. So, may sinabi si Ibn Rushd, ignorance leads to fear, fear leads to hate, and hate leads to violence. This is the equation. So, I hope marami tayong natutunan. Tsaka i-review natin yung mga new words patungkol sa halal nating na-discuss. So, pasensya po kung medyo nagka-aberya yung connection ko kanina. So, with all that, thank you.
Yes, sir, for that. Thank you, Sir Alexan, for that very informative basic principles and halal fundamentals that contains useful and helpful details on understanding halal. Today is Friday. We will have an early and long lunch break later to accommodate the Friday congregation prayer. And on your part, you will do the workshop group activity. It is a review of understanding. We have a workshop for this course. First is group yourselves into 3. Every group will be asked to answer questions about our topic on halal basics and fundamentals. Then every member of the group must participate in answering the question on hand. you will put it into a power presentation and submit your work at 11 a.m. Then we will see your answers and we'll proceed to the question and answer portion. So here it is. Here are the questions. No? Here are the questions for group 1. Why are Muslims consuming halal? Second, what is haram? Give at least 5 examples of non-halal. What is masbu? Give one case or situation where an item is considered masbu or doubtful. Number 4 is what's the importance of halal? 5 is how can a halal product become haram? Give us sample situation. 6 is mention at least 2 of the market growth drivers of halal industry. For the group 2, first question is why are Muslims consuming halal? Second is what is haram? Give at least 5 examples of non-halal. Third is what's the importance of halal? Fourth is how can a haram product become halal? No, it's almost the same. Also with the group 3. Kayo na po yung mag-group sa sarili nyo into 3. And you will answer this. Put your answer in a PowerPoint presentation. You may present it later. And so we can see, no? Then we also have the question and answer portion.
Ma'am, start na po.
Yes, you may start now.
Sige, ma'am.
Oo. At 11 a.m. No? Siguro enough na yung time
Sige po, ma'am.
for the presentation. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay po, ma'am.
Ma'am and sir, you may join the breakout room. It automatically group yourselves.
May groupings na tayo. What if we group by department?
You may group yourselves na lang po. At your own discretion na lang.
Renzi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nasa room 3 kami kanina tapos biglang bumalik dito. Nalagay ba kayo sa room?
Ako, napunta ako sa 2, pero bumalik din dito, sir. I don't know why.
Sagutin na lang natin lahat to.
What if, ayan, sir, mag-grouping. So, kasi malapit naman si EM and QA. Tapos si FSS Math ko ng warehouse.
Sir Richard, Sir Renzi, sa group 3 na lang kayo.
Paano po ba
Nasa group 3 kami kanina, biglang bumalik dito, sir eh.
Yes, sir. Nawala ako eh. Teka, wala ako.
Dito sa group 3, sa room ko. Yung yung connect na lang kayo dito kay Mark.
Paano natin gagawin yan?
Hindi ko rin alam, sir, paano gagawin.
Kanina nilagay kami sa room 3. Tapos biglang bumalik dito.
Naka-open ka ba sa room?
Pero sino
Hello.
nag-arrange?
Wala na ako. Hello po.
Okay lang, makinig na lang po
Yes.
ako.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Yung mga Sir Richard,
Yes,
Sir
ma'am.
Renzi, Sir Mike, Dea, Mark, Ma'am Glad. Pwede na po siguro tayo mag-work together. Dea, ikaw na lang maggawa ng presentation. Sasagutan natin isa-isa.
Nandito na sa sa kwarto ko si
Papunta
Mark.
na po ako
Glad.
dyan. Sige sir, join ako dyan. Sige po. Okay.
Hindi ko lang kung paano ito si Renzi at si Sir Richard.
Nasa main room po kami ngayon.
Ano ba maglipat from main room to breakout?
Sino pa mga nasa room na to? 31. Saan natin susulat yung sagot?
Good morning, everyone. So we have recreated the breakout rooms. If you would like to use it, just select which room you would like to enter. So we have created 3 breakout rooms for your use.
Hello po. If there
Hello
are
po,
groups
ma'am.
yes, if there are groups who are already done, then we can start the presentation. Baka pwede nang mag-volunteer ang group 3.
Group 3 na tayo na.
Okay.
Go, Mark. Teka, nandito na ba si Mark?
Wait, sir. Baka hindi siya lumabas sa breakout.
Mark. Wala pala si Mark.
Nasa breakout room pa.
Teka, silipin mo. Okay. Join na siya.
Each group will be given 5 minutes to present their group answers. Please do not forget to submit your output, the PowerPoint, to us. You may send it to us using the chat box, or you may send it to our email. The screen share function has been enabled, so you may use the screen share function.
Mark, pwede kang daw mag-share.
Hello po. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes po. We are the group B, and let me share my screen. So, nakikita na po yung screen ko.
Yeah.
Yes,
Alright.
yes.
Okay. For group 3, yung first question assigned. By the way, ang group 3 nga po pala is, ito yung mga group member niya. Si Sir Mike, si Miss Glad, si Miss Nen, si Sir Richard, si Ma'am Cynthia, si Sir Renzi, si Miss Dea, and ang inyong pong Lincoln. Alright.
Mga veterans.
Veterans. Yung first question assigned to us was, why are Muslims consuming halal? Or ito po yung mga best answers na namin sa group. Because that is lawful, permissible for them, meaning our Muslim brothers and sisters, to be consumed. And lastly, because food and other services under halal meets requirements that we believe it's suitable for consumption. So that's basically our answer for to the question, why are Muslims consuming halal? Okay. For the next question, what is haram? And give at least 5 examples of non-halal. Okay. Based on sa discussion natin kanina, yung nakuha namin, meaning ng halal is the opposite of halal and unlawful and not permissible. Example of haram are alcoholic beverages, pork, illegal drugs, dogs, and monkeys. And for the next question, what is the importance of halal? Halal ensures the humane slaughtering and preparations of animals for consumption. Also, halal gives assurance to the consumers that food products are clean and hygienic. And lastly, ensures that no haram is prepared. Okay. For the next question, how can something be considered non-halal or haram? First, if it is contaminated with haram, of course. Next, if it is not slaughtered in non-humane or non-Islamic way. Next, if it is used...
Double negative.
Ay, opo.
If
Sorry
it
po.
is not slaughtered, if it is slaughtered in a
If
non.
it is slaughtered. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I stand corrected po. If it is uses utensils that are contaminated with haram. And lastly, if the animals are slaughtered by a non-Muslim. Okay. For the next question, how many percent of the world population are Muslims? So according to Google, based on 2022 census, that's 24% of the world's population. So that is 1.8 billion world populations. And for the last question, why halal consumers are the fastest growing consumer segment in the world? Okay. First, Islam faith and Muslim population is growing rapidly. And because halal gives assurance to the consumers that the food products and services are clean, hygienic, ethical, and safe. So yung halal symbol serves as a statement of assurance na rin, even sa mga non-Muslim brothers and sisters. Right? So for our last answer, and even non-Islam is following halal. So that's pretty much it for the presentation of Group 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. In general, the answers were very good, no? Correct. Yung mga specific na lang na addition namin later after all the groups have presented their answers. So we congratulate Group 3 for the good answers, for the amazing answers, and also the good presentation. Again, congratulations and thank you very much. So,
Thank you po.
Group 2 ay tapos na daw din po sila. So, you may present yung Group 2.
Okay po. Allow me to share my screen po. Ay, wait lang yung feedback. Hello po. Kita na po.
Yes.
And so, we are the Group 2. So, kasama namin si QA. So, production and QA po yung team namin. Ay. Wait lang. Ayaw mag-move ng slides. Ayaw mag-move. Wait lang po Ayaw mag-move ng slides eh. Ganyan lang po, ayaw mag-move ng slides. So we are the Group 2, composed of production and QA. So first question is, din po ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Lee.
Clear, ma'am. Clear.
Ayan. So the first question is, why are Muslim consuming halal? So the group discussed na because of the religious belief, and then pangalawa, it meets the requirements of what they believe in, and it is obedience to Allah, and then essential part of Islamic faith. Next question is, what is haram? So for us, it's not, as discussed, not allowed, and then prohibited, unlawful. So examples of haram, so as stated, pork, alcohol, birds of prey, pests such as rats, centipedes, carnivorous, and then also gambling is haram. Next is what is the importance of halal? So competitive advantage over the companies, and then clean, hygienic, quality, and safety assurance. Then how haram product become halal? So istala or transformation. So transformation of a substance of a product to another product of different nature and attribute by natural means or by human intervention. So sample is gelatin. So perceived as an entirely different substance than the animal bone or other bodily part. Next question is what is najis? So ritually unclean, and then five examples or some examples are wine, dogs, milks of animals whose meats Muslims are not allowed to eat, pork bloods, and swine. So sa two brute drivers of halal industries, we have two answers po kasi. So we have this halal food industry and this Islamic finance. And also, the group also discussed na part of growth drivers of halal industry is yung Muslim population, then increase in demand for halal products, even in non-Muslim products. So that's all for group 2 po.
Thank you very much for that group 2. And we have observed, no, even may similar questions, they have different answers that these complement actually the answers of the first group. So again, job well done, and thank you very much for your presentation. We will have the specific and additional inputs later. So group 1 na lang po ang natitira. Ready na po ba ang group 1?
Open slide.
Yes, Sir Kura.
Okay. Opo, si Ronto. Nasa baba lang sila Mark Andrew. Napakagalit lang. Okay. Okay po, good morning po. Wala to, wala audio.
Good morning.
Good
Audible
morning,
po.
meron.
Audible po, audible.
No audio.
Hello, clear ka, Ken?
Clear. Thank you po. Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Waalaikumsalam.
Why are the Muslim consuming halal? Because under Sharia Islamic, it generally means permissible, allowed.
Lipat mo yung slide mo.
Ay, sorry. Ano ba ito, pre? Hindi daw ito nakikita. Sharing.
Huwag mo na lang i-slideshow. Yan na lang sa PowerPoint.
Sa PowerPoint na lang. PowerPoint. Skip.
Sige.
The acceptability of what constitutes the term halal according to Holy Quran and Hadith. Halal originates from rules set out of Quran and Hadith. The Prophet Muhammad example, which have been followed throughout generation of Islamic practice. What is haram? The examples of haram. Haram is an Islamic word that is opposite to halal. It means something forbidden or unlawful for Muslim to consume, use, or do. Example po nun ay pork, alcohol, drugs, pests, and food additives. And what is mashbu? And give one case, a situation where items considered mashbu. Those are status are uncleared whether halal or haram, or suspect in doubt, questionable of origin, certain of doubt. Your example po nun ay ice cream, which is doubtful of origin of this animal based or plant based. What is the importance of halal? The religious obligations. give assurance to Muslim consumers, hygienic and clean, indicate the product not only fulfilling halal requirement but also hygienic practices. Market demand generates revenue, competitive advantage over other companies. Quality and safety. It is the assurance of quality and safety, hygienic and cleanliness. Yung how halal product become haram. The example of this is any animal has died before being slaughtered in Islamic manner or has not properly slaughtered. Example, if the product is contaminated with najis. And mention at least two of the market growth drivers of halal industry. Increase awareness in availability, quality, and integrity of halal products. Increase demand of halal products even in non-Muslim markets. And that's all lang po. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Group 1. And mashallah, napakaganda po ng mga sagot nyo. So, alhamdulillah. We were given the task by Sir Alex San to comment on your outputs. Before we comment, please do not forget to submit your outputs po. Pwede dito sa group chat or sa email na lang. I-collect na lang po, then isend nyo na lang sa email. So from the answers of everyone, mashallah, alhamdulillah. So napakaganda po ng mga sagot, no? Ng lahat. Doon sa binigay na tanong, no? So in addition to your answers, no, particularly doon po sa concept of istihala, let me just siguro share ko na lang sa screen. Yung istihala or transformation, no? It's a transformation from halal to a non-halal. So example, alcohol or wine. So if a wine, no, left out in the open air at hindi natin sa open air, it may become vinegar, no? So kung ang wine by human intervention or by even if there's no human intervention, so wine in itself is haram, no? Wine, because it's alcoholic and it's intoxicant. So after it become vinegar, vinegar is halal. So that's a transformation from haram to halal. So another example naman ng istihala na from halal to haram ay marami. Na example, dun pa rin sa wine, no? So ang grapes, for example, grapes, fruits are halal, no question, because as we have said, all unprocessed fruits and vegetables in default are halal. So if the grapes have been fermented and processed into wine, nagiging haram siya. Okay. So doon naman sa concept of halal and haram, I really like your answers, no? Yung patungkol doon sa ang halal at saka yung haram. Yung haram, hindi lang siya kung anong kinakain at iniinom. Bagkus everything that is considered as unethical, no, immoral kahit hindi ito pagkain at saka inumin, no, ito ay haram. So katulad ng gambling, etc. No? So ang gambling, what we are basing in general, as Sir Alex has mentioned earlier, we need to weigh the good or interest or the benefit that we get from something. So if the good or the benefit that we get from that thing outweighs the harm, if there's any harm, no, that it was, so magiging halal to. Pero kung ito naman ay yung harm ay outweighs the good and yung benefit, no, katulad for example ng gambling, alcoholic drinks, no, ang harm niya is much more than any benefit that you can get from it. So marami tayong nababalita, no? For example, sa alcoholic drinks, no? Makamakailan lang sa mga balita natin sa Bulacan banda, no, mayroong isang buong pamilya na talagang namasaker ng isang lasing, no? Pati yung baby hindi pinaligtas, no? Wala talagang ano kasi ano yun eh, pumasok siya doon sa isang bahay, pinatay yung nanay, no? Pati yung anak, yung baby, no? So I think 3 to 4 years o before mga 5 years ago na balita yon, no? So ito yung sinasabi natin na kahit anong nakikitang benefit dito, maybe there's a benefit when selling, kikita ka, or sabi nila nakakalimot ka doon ng problema kapag umiinom ka ng alak, which is not sure kung totoo, at I think hindi yung totoo, no? Kasi paano yung pag nawala yung pagkalango mo? So yung benefit na nakukonceive o naiisip nila patungkol dun sa isang bagay ay napakaliit kumpara dun sa harm na maaaring idulot nito. So scientifically, no, kahit sa in any aspect, so mas malaki yung dulot niya. So ito yung pinaka main concern, o ito yung pinaka main reason why a thing is haram. Yun ang palaging tinitingnan natin. So ano pa ba? So doon sa patungkol sa mashbuh, I think klaro yun, no? Doubtful if you are not sure if it's halal or haram. And also I really like the answer yung sa paano nagiging haram ang isang bagay ay yun nga, through contamination. And this is the main cause currently, no, sa atin, contamination. So if your product even 90% or 95% ang ingredients mo, raw materials mo ay halal, pero nahaluan mo ito ng non-halal. So ang non-halal is both. Tatlo yan, no? What is considered non-halal ay yung haram. Haram na siya mismo. Alam na natin yung haram, no? Yung mga animals and mga poisonous, etc. Then kung siya naman ay may najis, no? All things that are considered najis, filth, ay considered haram din, no? So bawal siyang ihalo, makontaminate ang inyong produkto with najis. Then pangatlo ay yung mashbuh. So lahat ng mga doubtful, hindi mo alam kung ito ay halal or haram, dapat hindi rin to mahalo sa iyong produkto. So yun ang main reasons kung bakit nagiging haram ang isang produkto or item. And okay. I think yung nasagot naman ata lahat yung at magagandang mga sagot nyo. So congratulations everyone for the job well done, and also we can see here, we can evaluate ourselves na may natutunan tayo dito sa halal. And very important to, no? Very important, lalo na kung kayo ay halal certified company. So dapat alam nyo, dapat socialized yung halal, no? Dapat lahat ng mga employees nyo, particularly yung involved sa mga importanteng department sa production, etc. So lahat yan ay dapat may alam at may sapat na kaalaman patungkol sa halal. So again, congratulations everyone, and thank you, no, for the good presentation. So a round of applause for everyone. Okay. So I think our moderator will start.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. We now proceed to the question and answer portion, no? Session. Please feel free to raise your questions or clarification on the course on basic principles and fundamentals of halal.
If you have any questions or clarification, gusto nyo itanong, wag pong mahiya at magtanong po. we will have until 11:30 because as the moderator have said earlier, we will have a early and long lunch break to accommodate the Friday congregational prayer for the
Sir,
Muslim.
question.
Yes. Sure, please proceed,
Okay.
Sir Lopez.
If we have for example, a new facility or a current facility that is entertaining halal certification, do we need to go through yung ritual cleansing?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Sir Lopez. So if your current plant or facility, production line or whatever it is, currently produces non-halal. So dun sa production line or dun sa planta nyo, may dumadaan dito na non-halal na products before, and you have decided to be halal certified. So kailangan po ito na mag-undergo ng obligatory cleansing or ritual cleansing. Obligatory cleansing po. So but if it's new, wala talagang dumaan dito na production before na halal, non-halal, or can directly say haram, no? So hindi po siya needed for obligatory cleansing. Doon lang po sa mga facilities, plants, or production line na talagang may dumaan dito before na non-halal na products.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, ano naman po yung meron kaming planta na non-halal o may isang line na non-halal tapos merong line na ipapahalal. Paano po ang mga limitations pagka ganon?
Total segregation po, separation. So you have to make sure na but still we will go back to the standards po ng inyong halal certification body. Pero ang minimum is that each production line, so isang production line po. So yung line na yon, kung yun ang i-apply nyo for halal, dapat wala na pong dadaan dito na non-halal certified na products. No, yun ang minimum. But sometimes kasi buong planta, no, yung kinukonsider ng isang halal certification body kasi sabi nila there will be doubts, no? There will be doubts kasi hindi mo alam, baka it's very easy na magkaroon ng contamination. But if you are able to prove that talagang there will be no contamination kahit kasi magkaibang production line at may segregation, total segregation, ibig sabihin pati yung mga employees nyo hindi palipat-lipat, no, sa halal then dun sa non-halal. So you have to prove that to your halal certification body. You need to get their confidence na talagang you are able to do it, you are able to comply with the halal standards.
Follow-up question doon, sir. Siguro, sir, kung ma-justify na hindi siya magkakakontaminate. Ang concern po, what if pareho ng dinadaanan yung tao? The equipments, sure po yon na hindi siya makakontaminate from halal to non-halal. Pero yung mga tao po, considering na mga entry and exit points, magiging mahigpit po ba ganon during certification?
You have to have control measures po, no? So magpag-aaralan nyo yung mga critical control points na possibility na kung saan magkakaroon ng problema. So you have to make sure na yung control measures nyo na-address nyo yung mga critical points na yon. And you have to show that, you have to show and present that to your halal certification body na we can handle it. We are able to make sure that there will be no contamination that will happen. So as long as your halal certification body agree and talagang confident sila na sa inyong control measures, okay lang po yun. So at the end of the day sa kanila, yun ang sila po ang magde-decide kung talagang effective yung control measures that you have laid down for such critical na kung nakikita yung critical control points siya.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Sir,
welcome. Yes, yes. Please proceed, sir.
Richard Anatalio po. Sir, for a toll manufacturing company, so tinatanggap po namin yung mga raw materials namin from the principal. And minsan po hindi naman namin alam eksakto kung ano yung pinanggalingan and ano yung composition. Paano po ma-assure na hindi papasok po ba sa NASBU o paano i-assure na halal yun?
That's a very good question, Sir Anatalio, no? So that's why even yung logistics, makita po natin, meron po tayong standard sa halal logistics. So it is very important doon sa receiving o sa purchasing, no? Doon sa lahat ng and in every step ng supply chain, kailangan ma-assure natin na lahat ito ay halal. So for example, yung doon sa may supplier kayo, at hindi nyo alam kung sila ay halal ba o hindi, or are they following the standards on the logistics, halal logistics, sa transport, sa warehousing, tsaka yung delivery. So, ang siguro ang may sasuggest ko sa ganun ay you have to ask them kung sila ba ay halal certified yung supplier nyo. Ito ay requirement din po ng mga halal certification body that all of your suppliers should be halal certified. Lalo na kung itong supplier nyo ay para dun sa halal products na ipoproduce nyo. As a toll manufacturer, no, kung kayo ay halal certified na toll manufacturer kayo, yung tatanggapin nyo dapat, kasi ang sinecertify dun pag toll manufacturer, yung buong planta nyo na eh. You are expected that lahat ng tatanggapin nyo na mga raw mats at lahat ng ipoproduce nyo na products ay halal certified, lalo na kung buong planta, no, ang halal certified sa inyo. So ang ano po, no, isang makikita nyo dyan, ang isang solution is magkaroon po kayo ng first party audit, no? So i-check nyo yung supplier nyo, or rather second party audit, no? I-check nyo yung supplier nyo para kung titingnan kung sila ay halal certified, that they are following the halal standards.
Salamat po.
Welcome po. Okay, we still have 3 minutes po. Any other questions or clarifications?
Sir, ibig sabihin pagdating po sa raw materials, dapat nakaprepare lahat ng certifications ng suppliers per materials.
Bali, ano po yung standard procedure ng receiving nyo? So, dapat makikita nyo doon. Actually, kung titingnan natin yung halal standard sa logistics, no? But before nyo i-receive yung mga raw mats, no, raw materials from your supplier, dapat ipakita nila talaga yung mga certification nung ano nilang mga dala nila, no? At ma-assure nyo na hindi contaminated. Ibig sabihin, kunyari sa isang reefer van, sa isang transport vehicle, hindi dito halo-halo yung mga halal at saka non-halal.
Sir?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, ito po ba yung mga suspected materials lang? Example, yung mga suppliers na meron kaming suspected materials na haram or not halal. Yun lang po ba yung kailangan po nun? Kasi, di ba, there are maraming materials din naman na hindi na parang haram, di ba po? Or nag-violate ng halal. So, parang ibig sabihin na 100% po ba ng suppliers ay halal certified?
Not necessary, no?
Okay.
Ang titingnan po natin dito, for example, gaya ng sabi natin, no? Usually, iwan ko sino itong nag-open ng whiteboard, no? Usually ang ang kunyari ang supplier nyo, raw mats. So gaya ng kaninang na-mention ni Sir Alex, na kung unprocessed yung mga fruits and vegetables, usually hindi naman halal certification ang hinahanap diyan. Iba ang tinitingnan, no? Doon sa food safety naman na aspect ang tinitingnan doon. So, depende po yan sa inyong supplier. Kung ang inyong supplier po ay medyo ito particularly kung ito ay processed na, no? For example na flour, no? Harina, sugar, no? Lahat to dapat po you have to make sure that all of them are halal certified. So, kasi pag process na po, ibig sabihin dumaan na siya sa isang proseso, so maaaring contaminated na to unless halal certified po siya.
Okay po.
Okay,
Sir,
so
last question. Ang eggs, sir, kasi eggs lang for now ang mukhang fresh. The rest kasi puro process ang materials.
Like yung butter.
Yes, yung sa eggs po, usually ang titingnan naman diyan yung yung sa safety, food safety aspect po niya. So kasi at saka yun nga, make sure na talaga yung egg ay galing sa manok o anong halal na egg. So yun lang po. So siguro ano bang applicable na certification? Kung farm yan, ano ba? Meron ba silang anong good agricultural practices, GAP or GFP, good farming practice? Kung ano pong applicable sa kanila, no, doon sa supplier nyo. Not necessarily halal certification po.
But at least, sir, hahanapan sila ng certification kung ano man yung applicable sa kanila.
Yes, kasi ang halal po hindi lang, gaya ng sabi nga ni Sir Alex, no, halalan toyiban. So hindi lang siya lawful, dapat good din siya, wholesome, healthy, hygienic, no, safe. So yung we have to make sure na lahat ay magandang quality, for example, no? Kasi yung itlog pwedeng depende, no, sa quality rin ng itlog. Kung ito ba ay baka yung supplier nyo ay hindi nag-adhere sa sa food safety. So dapat kailangan masigurado po kung ano yung ano mang applicable na certification na magpapatunay, kasi kailangan evidence-based eh. So kailangan mapatunayan nila na yung kanilang dinideliver o yung sinusupply sa inyo ay malinis at safe. No?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much po sa inyong mga tanong at 11:32 na po, so we will have our lunch break. So kung we will resume at 1 p.m. No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat.